Hi guys, I'm a couple minutes late. I apologize. I was giving my son a kiss goodnight. Welcome to my channel. It's the first stream of 2021. Happy New Year. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day, wonderful weekend. It's that long period of time between like Christmas Eve until January 1st, 2nd, that sort of time frame where everyone is sort of like in this, I don't know, lull of festivities and overeating and festive times. But this year was different, right? Because we were stuck at home for the most part. So welcome everyone. I hope you had a wonderful New Year's. We actually had a really fun stream on New Year's Eve where we talked with everyone, really. People joined and shared everything. We talked about so many different things. So many different people joined the live stream. It was a 3.5-hour event. I have never had a live stream that long on this channel, but it was a really fun way for everyone to connect. We talked about the shows we cover. We talked about stuff that's going on YouTube. We talked about how people are doing in their private lives and in their lives, you know, a lot. And then tonight I was thinking about how we have been doing these panel discussions, and hold on one second. We've been doing these panel discussions. Okay, sorry. We've been doing these panel discussions, and I thought a really great topic would be around, because last week would be around cancel culture, because last week during our venting session, so last Saturday night, what we did was people joined the live stream, and we talked about some of our biggest frustrations of 2020. And someone actually brought up discussions around deplatforming. And that had me thinking about a wider context and conversation around cancel culture, because it sort of goes side to side with that deplatforming context. So what I was thinking was we could have conversations about whether or not there was someone that was canceled, so two sort of things in terms of the directions that we can go for this dialogue. Was there someone that was canceled that you feel like didn't deserve to be canceled? Or that could be sort of something that you come in with when you join the live stream conversation. Is cancel culture, another direction we could go when you join can be, is cancel culture actually reducing free speech? Some people argue that when we remove specific people from platforms, what ends up happening is that freedom of speech becomes an issue because differing opinions, whatever's not popular at the time, are diminished. And so those people that don't have what's considered the popular or appropriate opinion are removed from platforms for whatever reason. So is it a threat to freedom of speech? And then, or it could be, you know, what happens when everyone is canceled for everything that they do and everyone looks the same? Does it create a homogenous sort of vanilla society where differing opinions and thoughts are appropriate? And then another direction can go, do you agree that it's the job of people on, like, in terms of creators? So is it the job of like commentary channels? Is it the job of other creators to quote unquote cancel one another or expose one another? Is it the job for us to police one another? Or is it more appropriate to leave that up to the individual viewer to decide what it is that they want to watch? I think this can go in a lot of different directions. And I want to say that first and foremost, this will not be about me. So if you are choosing to join the panel, this is not going to be a confront Katie, hold Katie accountable type of conversation. This is not specifically about canceling me. This is a wider conversation just in general, because 2020 was a very big year, and there was a lot of creators and a lot of influencers that have gone through cancellation, whether it was Shane Dawson, Jeffree Star, Tana, Jake Paul, Logan Paul, David Dobrik. I mean, big creators. Trisha Paytas constantly, Keemstar, Ethan Klein, H3 Podcast, every single, like, all these big time creators getting canceled. And then there's also, like, you know, if you look into celebrity, think of Nick, Oh, I'm sorry. His name, I was going to say Jonas, but that's not who I'm thinking of. Wild and Out. Mariah Carey's ex-husband, Nick. His name's not even. Please fill in the blank. Why can't I think his name? You're talking about me, Katie. I honestly believe YouTube had room for everyone, but there's some that need to stop. Nick Cannon, thank you, Nick Cannon. There was that whole issue with some of the things that he said earlier this summer. So there was a lot of various celebrities that have gone through cancellation as well. So what I want to do is open up this to a discussion of you kind of talking about your thoughts on cancel culture, and even if it's from okay, I'm going to share the link to join. But again, ground rules are, this is not about talking about Katie, you're canceled. This is not a confront Katie. This is also not a place for arguing or being divisive. I absolutely 100% love spirited conversation and that kind of stuff. But I do not want to have a conversation about we're going to confront Katie and talk to Katie about everything she's done wrong. This is not an open night for that. So if you do go down that road, I'll give you sort of like a warning. This is just ground rules that we're not going to go there. And then we can move to a different discussion. Okay. So here is the join. Yes, they canceled Ellen DeGeneres as well, Mallory. Correct. So yes, very large, like Ellen was canceled and Nick Cannon was canceled. And, you know, there's just been huge people that have been canceled. So if you want to join, my StreamYard link is listed. I also put a note out onto Twitter if there was creators that followed me that wanted to join tonight. I'm not sure if anyone saw it. I have no idea who is watching, who might see this. But we'll go from there. All right, Scarlett, what's up?
Hey, it's me again.
Yes.
So, now this is very, very appropriate because I had been watching another YouTube streamer earlier who completely outside of, your realm of specialty. He's a tech YouTuber, but he made mention about cancel culture as well. And it was about the Paul brothers. And he had said that, when YouTubers get to a certain size, they just become uncancelable. So this fits in just perfectly. Now, as for my views on it,
Mm-hmm.
on the one hand, I find it's ironic. It's funny. It's one of those that's like, really, people? So just a little bit more backstory for absolutely everyone else. Yes, I moderate for Katie. I also moderate for another channel that is it's a motorcycle channel, and there are people that come in and we try and keep stuff kind of on track there to an extent. They also have a Discord, and I'm telling you, hey, this server is family friendly. You need to keep it family friendly. And people,
Hi guys.
you can't delete this, you can't delete that. You're squashing my free speech. And it's like, okay, here's the thing. Yes, free speech, but one, free speech does not mean freedom from consequences,
Right.
which everyone knows.
Yes.
The other issue is freedom of speech applies only in terms of the government. So Google right now, technically speaking, they can remove anything they so desire. That doesn't mean that they're squashing your freedom of speech. That's why you've got Twitter, you've got that new one, Parler, you've got Instagram, Facebook, MySpace, so on and so forth down the line. The other thing is, you know, it's one thing to say, yes, I want freedom of speech, but I also want to cancel you because, okay, great. Yes, you had the freedom to say, I don't like person X, person Y, person Z.
Right.
Cool. I mean, you don't like someone, that's your freedom to say so. But then for you to say, well, no, you need to let me post that I don't like you and I don't want to hear anything from you and you should not be on platform X. I mean, stop for just 2 seconds and look in the mirror. And this is for absolutely everyone. Look in the mirror if you're saying person Y should not be on platform Y, but they need to allow you to go and tell them, but they can't stop you from doing that. You know, where does that end?
Yeah.
Personally,
I often think about that. I think of in the context of there are a few things that I think are like in terms of like a platform regulates itself. YouTube has its own rules and they have specific guidelines that if you aren't following them, they will remove you, right? So there are things in speech that are just not okay on this platform, hate speech, harassment, um, you know, violence, threats, that kind of stuff, which we should not be doing. And for the most part, most creators are very mindful about that, right? So unless someone to me, even though someone has a differing point of view, I don't believe that it's my place to cancel someone based upon their opinion. Unless it's like under hate speech or you know what I mean?
right. And to take this to Twitter, I know that in the past, like J.K. Rowling has said some, at bare minimum, anti trans stuff. Now,
Right.
full disclosure, everyone, there's no chance that you're going to cancel J.K. Rowling, even if you could. She's already written the entire Harry Potter series.
Right.
She's got all the money she needs to retire on. But
Right.
do I agree with what she's said as a trans person? No, I. But she has the right to say it so long as she didn't violate Twitter's terms of service, which, from how I understand, I haven't followed the story closely enough, but apparently it did not violate the terms of service that Twitter has set out because I can almost guarantee that comment's been flagged by millions of people throughout the
Right.
world.
I think those comments are still up, to be honest. And she also wrote something for the BBC that I believe, or something that actually got nominated by the BBC for something. Um, I think her position is more of a biological perspective and the place of like, from my understanding, again, I don't know everything, that whole idea, which I don't agree with, is that, you know, you are not biologically a female. So therefore, like, you should not have, you know, the same, you don't have the same experience kind of as a female.
Right, and that's
It's
kind of
a
how I
very,
understood it.
it's a very turf sort of like belief system.
And for those that don't know, TERF is trans exclusionary radical feminist.
Right.
It's basically the opinion that due to my having been born, you know, assigned male at birth with female sexual hormones and characteristics and all that, you know, I can't know what, for example, Katie grew up with.
Right.
And I can guarantee that there is not a single trans person in the world that's going to say, "Well, growing up, I knew exactly what that was like. We had our own issues growing up."
Right. Like a very, for instance, like a very turf belief has to do around reproduction. Um, Obviously, because most individuals that have had gender reassignment surgery are not, you know, they can't
Right.
reproduce.
Well, they can't
They
yet.
can't.
Don't. I do know, for example,
I
there
mean,
is.
they can, I guess I can't say they can't. They can.
It depends on kind of which way you're going and what you're
Right.
looking at, but yes. there is some stuff where they're trying in cis people to do womb transplants, and that does.
I actually did read about that. There was actually like a womb transplant where the baby actually survived.
Yep, and that was South America, which the coming generations may have access to that. But
Right.
I mean, to bring this back to cancel culture, we can't necessarily cancel, like you've said before. We can't cancel people that don't want to be canceled.
Right.
Trisha Paytas. Oh, we need to cancel her. We need to cancel her. We need to cancel her.
Yes.
Let's just take a really quick look at Trisha's YouTube, which, yes, I'm doing that. 4.83 million.
She can't be significantly canceled. People might not watch her as much. Her views may not be as high, but from a significant cancellation, she could never be significantly canceled.
Right. And that's what this person, the other YouTuber that I had been watching, had said. Once you hit a certain plateau, you can't be canceled. And I full on buy into that. I mean, if someone decides I'm not canceled and they have a big enough following, if they have any following, you could have 5 people until absolutely everyone is gone. And Jody Crust, just to answer your question, Trisha Paytas is another YouTuber who has been known for, I guess, mukbangs and other stuff like that.
She does like mukbangs, and she also is like kind of known for trolling, but now she's actually she does a lot, like most of what her channel is. So she has Trisha Paytas, which is her largest channel, which has like 4.8 million. She does music videos, which are kind of like they're like skit sort of, like she's like very into Quentin Tarantino and like sort of those Disney Broadway. Like you can tell she really loves Broadway and musicals. Because she does these like music videos that have like sort of that musical type feel. She also does mukbangs where she just like eats and does talking in her car. She is open about her mental health and talks a lot about, recently in the last few years, been talking about her, growth and sort of her treatments and her going through therapy. She's also recently engaged. And so now it's been a lot of, her and her fiance, Moses. And so it's sort of been this evolution. Initially, she used to do a lot of just story times. And she used to be known for crying on her kitchen floor. That's actually her business, crying on the kitchen floor. And then she has a vlogs channel where she just does more like personal stuff. But I'm a subscriber to both and I enjoy her. I don't always agree with her, and some people find her fully offensive, but I am sort of the type of person that likes to see growth in people, and I always just want to root someone on, and I like to watch her eat. It's weird.
Right, which, I mean, every person on this platform, they had their own little thing. Between Trisha with her stuff, Gabby Hanna with her stuff, trying to think of other people, like if the Plaths came on here, they'd have their stuff. Even the Duggars, if they came on, they would have their place here on YouTube.
Well, Jessa has the channel. She's got over 100,000 subscribers. And Jill and Joy have channels. I think Jill's around 70,000 and Joy, I think maybe over 100,000. So yeah, I mean, and I think overwhelmingly, like their channels are well received, and they do get some trolling, but those girls get trolled everywhere.
Yeah, and also just to go back into the chat, Rebecca Clark had asked my thoughts on Trisha coming out as trans. I will say this, that Trisha may have said in a later video, "Oh, I'm not trans," but whether Trisha is trans or is not trans, there is stuff that, how do I necessarily?
I think she has issues with her, like, I think she describes herself as sort of gender fluid.
Right, which technically speaking, if memory serves now, full disclosure again, I am a trans female. I identify as being female. There are other trans people that fit more in the agender area, they're technically in the trans umbrella. Could Trisha fit under there? And she just doesn't know exactly her area? That could be it. It could be a number of things. So whether or not Trisha is trans, I can't say. The usual thing with it is it's better to go, okay, yes, I recognize that you identify as trans and will support you through this wherever it takes you, as opposed to everyone planting down their flag necessarily and saying, no, absolutely not, you're not trans, you're whatever.
People thought she was trolling, but I think honestly she does struggle, and she's been honest since that she still does struggle with identity, and it's been an ongoing issue for her in therapy. And that's why she has all these different like looks that she does and why she dresses up so much.
Right.
And she does like to dress up sometimes as males. And so I say, like, as long as she's being true to herself, that's all you can do is support her.
Right. So, I mean, is Trisha trans? Is she not trans? If it turns out that she says in 3 years, oh yeah, by the way, I'm really not trans, I really am Trisha, should we cancel her for that or attempt to again? No.
Right.
She went down a path that she thought maybe this matches me and found out that, well, this doesn't fit any better, so now I need to find a better identity that fits more into me. So
yeah. And she's
anyway.
the kind of person that once she finds something, she goes online and shares. And I think that's the problem that people have, is that sometimes she's just reacting and thinking about what she's seeing. Hold on one second. I've got some people waiting, so let's get some of your final thoughts.
All right. So yeah, that's so for anyone out there listening, that's my thoughts on cancel culture. Is, I mean, to a certain extent, yes, you're entitled to your opinions, but keep in mind that everyone else is entitled to them as well. So with that, Katie, I will let you take it on to the next person.
Awesome.
And I'll be in chat, everyone.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. All right. So now we've got Mrs. Smith. What's up?
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you? And we've got Carissa, and I just want to say this real quick. I got Carissa and Aggie on deck just so they know that I see them.
Yes. Well, I turned my camera off because I'm really sorry. We were cleaning my basement all day, and so I'm looking a little rough here. So
that's fine, hon.
I get to look at my puppy. No, I had made a comment about I think his name is Josh from the Dad Challenge podcast.
Yes.
And so in relation to cancel culture, like I think when he first started his channel, he probably had really good intentions. But now he has become very much the bully. And so
he's getting some sort of backlash right now, I think. I haven't really.
He is. And I mean, I don't follow his channel or whatever. I had watched a series he did on why he was an ex-pastor. And I think if he would have stuck true to himself like you do, that I think he probably would have been successful, because he's very charismatic. And but he took canceling of the Huxley situation and canceling out oh my gosh, I can't think of her name.
Micah,
yes, thank you. Like now, I mean, I think it's gone too far. I mean, yes, they made a mistake and stuff, but when do creators, like, I think there's room on YouTube for everybody, but now it's like people have lost, like when they go on their channel, it's like they don't see what they're doing. So I don't know. Is this making sense?
No, yes, I've seen some of the criticism about it. Like he's actively trying to deplatform them, and that aspect of it. And like I said, here's the thing: I don't personally agree with that. When I did my interview with New York Magazine about the staffers, they asked me, like, is she canceled? And I flat out said no, because she can come back if she wants to. It's up to her. And because she hasn't lost that many subscribers. I mean, when you look at her overall channel, she still has over 600,000 subscribers, I think. And I don't know that she would come back, and I don't think it would be easy. I think she would have a ton of backlash. But I also said that first video back for her, she would have millions of views.
Oh, absolutely. But again, I mean, the creators, you know, you guys are all on here to support your families. It's your job.
Right.
You know,
That's
so
why I also said that I don't think it's, while I don't love what they did, obviously, I'm not going to try to cancel James Stoffer, because his channel, the cleaning channel, in my opinion, has nothing to do with the children.
I agree. Yeah. And everybody makes mistakes. I mean, we're all human. So I really just think, you know, that it's the generation right now, and those of us that are older, you know, it's kind of like, well, live and let live. And so I don't get this whole cancel culture. I mean, and I have teenagers who say, oh, mom, they're so canceled. What does that even mean? Like, I mean, I look on who they're talking about, like James Charles or whatever, not James, the other one, the one that looks like Frank from the Men in Black movies, Jeffree Star. Yeah, sorry. You know, he's got like what, 20 plus million people or something like that?
Jeffrey's got like 17 million, and I think Shane Dawson has over 20.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, I mean, from a number standpoint, you can't cancel them. I mean,
No.
you can withdraw your support of them, and you might see, you know, some of his, you know, his relevance, I suppose, would be reduced, in that his videos would not be viewed as much. And, you know, in that context, but he still has a loyal following, despite all of the problematic things that people point out, that will follow him no matter what.
Yeah. And I mean, I think everybody's out there to make a living. You don't go into a grocery store and tell somebody, oh, you're canceled. Like,
Right.
it's a job. You're doing a job. And as long as you stay true to yourself, which, I mean, I've watched you for quite a while now, and I've always felt you stayed the course. And so, yeah, I'm not quite sure. Anyway, that's all I had to say.
Well, I appreciate that. I don't have, I mean, if I had more to say about in terms of my opinions about his coverage of Micah, I think if he wants to continue to cover her, fine. If that's what his audience want, fine. I don't know that we should actively be seeking to deplatform someone. And I don't think deplatforming as a whole is something that YouTube is okay with. So
Yeah, and I mean, that wouldn't be tolerated in any other line of work. Like if you walked in, like, okay, so you were maybe upset with a grocery store employee,
right?
You don't call for the owner of the place and say, fire that guy, right? You
Correct.
So you think, like, so I don't know why people think they can do it to YouTube creators.
I think people feel like more connected to us because we are more engaged with our audiences than, say, like a typical celebrity. So we have more one-on-one connection, and so people feel a little bit more. They feel like more entitled to be able to tell us what we can and cannot do.
Agreed. Yeah.
So yeah, but I don't think like Josh should be canceled, and I don't think that, you know, I think people should. Did Micah make a huge mistake? Yes. Do I agree with Micah? No. If she came back, would I be thrilled? No, but I never watched her before then, so it wouldn't matter to me.
No, I didn't either, but yeah, that it just puzzles me that I would like to have anybody who's criticizing anybody else say that they have a clean slate.
Right.
So, and
that's kind of my point of view too, is especially with a lot of commentary channels in terms of deciding who is doing their commentary and how they do their commentary. And this is, again, why I didn't care to talk about the Josh situation, because I don't think it's my place as a creator to say, you aren't doing it right. You know what I mean? It's because I have made my own mistakes in commentary. So I feel like when other creators start ganging up, then what they do is they expose themselves. So, you know, if someone speaks out about him for doing that, then people can start looking at their catalogs of videos and say, well, what have you done? You
Yeah.
know? So I feel like there's some things that we just don't need to be called out, you know? And then I do think a product of some of it is partially the cancel culture, is the maybe he seems like a bully, but I also think that he's gotten a lot of attention and his channel has grown. So I think there's an aspect of that too.
But like, you know, for me, I feel like it hasn't grown in a positive direction. And so I think,
again, I never watched his channel. So
yeah,
that's, you know, it's up again, and it's up to the viewers to make that decision, not me.
absolutely agree. Well, you have a wonderful evening, and maybe we'll talk again soon.
All right. Thanks for joining.
Bye.
Okay. All right. We've got Carissa. Hi, honey.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Good. So good to see you.
This is about the party.
About who?
The daughters. They are a big party, but Moon is Eve.
What?
This is my message.
Medicine?
No.
Trying to understand. I'll be patient. I promise.
Bye.
Okay, I'm sorry, honey. I'm sorry. I was trying to, I love her too. She's such a sweetheart. Okay. Aggie.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
So I think when it comes to cancel culture, when it comes to like people and celebrities, I think it's a lot of expectations of perfection without forgiveness.
Okay, yeah.
And I think, you know, it's one thing to say, oh, free speech. And yeah, absolutely. But I think, you know, when it comes to celebrities, I think we need to remember that they're people too. And we're all humans. We all make mistakes. And I think it has to come down to like, you know, cancel culture really is kind of toxic unless what the person is saying or doing is truly harmful to another person.
Right. There are some things that are cancelable, obviously, you know, like.
Oh, absolutely.
But, you know, don't you ever feel like sometimes we go harvesting and looking for things that aren't there?
Absolutely. I feel like that's just kind of like who we've become as humans in the age of like social media. Like, and I think, you know, people are very quick to like judge celebrities too, like,
Yeah.
and creators and stuff like that. Like, I don't know, it takes a thick skin, and I think you need to be really cautious because that's just the age we're in, where everybody has an opinion, and that's fine. You can have your opinion, but that doesn't mean you should, like Mrs. Smith was saying, like these are your livelihoods. Like,
right.
You shouldn't be trying to take down someone's livelihood. Like that's
right.
Like, that's not okay either.
Right. I agree. I started thinking about this like earlier on in my career, was very into call out. And then I realized very quickly how toxic that is, because unless something that is done is egregious, like, you know, very bad, saying something that isn't appropriate, or, you know, an action that is a mistake, I think we have to be, I mean, and then continually bringing things up for years and years and years, right? How do you allow someone to grow, and how do you allow someone to change if we're constantly reminding them of the mistake?
Exactly. And, you know, like, ye who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. Like no one is perfect. Like, we're all going to say something that's wrong. We're all going to make a mistake.
Right.
Like, that's just human
nature. I make mistakes every day.
Like, I think we need to be a little more understanding and try and remember that being in the public eye are these people's livelihoods, and that they're not just here for our entertainment. They're humans too. They're people too.
Brenda says this: I feel my right as a viewer is taken away. I can choose for myself who I want to watch.
Exactly. Like, if you don't agree with something someone says, like, you don't have to watch them.
Right. YouTube's very big, and there's a lot of opinions, and there's a lot of creators, right? And so there's plenty of people that you can listen to that might speak to the same context. This idea of having content cops, or people that school the content, I think is a little bit problematic in and of itself, because once those creators grow, they too become, in their own sense, not perfect either. So
exactly.
I prefer to commentate on what's happening and not necessarily on exposing we need to end this person's career.
Exactly. Like, you commenting on the Duggars, and it's one of my favorite things to watch. But, like, personally, I'm a born again Christian, and, like, you don't come at them, and believe me, born again Christians have a reputation for being very judgmental, and I am very well aware of that. But I don't think that at all. I think, actually, I got this quote from Amy Duggar. I don't think God is sitting up on a throne in heaven wagging his finger being like, if you can't do this or if you can't do that, you're not getting into heaven. Like, I think he judges you on just being a good person.
Right.
Like, and I think especially with the dumpster fire that was 2020, I think we all need a little more kindness.
Yes.
To each other.
Yeah. And I've never advocated canceling the Duggars. I mean, do I like Josh Duggar? No.
I don't think anyone does.
I don't think anyone does, though, right? So if I don't like Josh Duggar, I'm pretty sure most people don't. And, you know, do we all agree with them? No. But if, you know, they give us, it's a topic, it's discussion, it brings up a lot of layers of interpersonal relationships and the dynamics of families and cults. And yeah.
Exactly. Like, it's, you know, and I think that's the biggest thing is, you know, it's simply just about, like, being understanding of human complexity. Like, people are different. People are going to have different opinions, different things. And we all need to recognize that that's okay. And it's not like, you know, all about us and our opinion is the right one.
Yeah. I think it would be completely ridiculous if we sat on ours. Like, are there aspects of their lives I don't agree with? Yes. And do I think they have too many kids? Yes. But is that going to change what they're doing? No.
Exactly. Like, that's, you know, that's what they decided to do with their life.
Yeah.
And just because their life choice is, you know, different than mine, you know, doesn't make it right, wrong, and different. That's just what they wanted to do, and that's just that.
Right. Agreed.
I mean, I think it's definitely more or less like, you talked about Michelle having that notebook so she could know little things about her own children, which I think is a little ridiculous, but that's beside the point.
Right. Yeah. And I think in general, like some people got a little bit testy with me because they were like, well, I have notebooks for my kids. That wasn't really the point at all. It was just kind of a snarky, funny, goofy video about how the questionnaire was just ridiculous to me, like completely.
Like, yeah, that's a little extreme. Like, I don't think yeah, that so many things I could say about that one. That's just a lot. Like, you're having your kids fill out a questionnaire so you know things about them. Like, really?
Okay, I just want to address it. She said hello to you and Todd. It was epic to be on with you, but you did not read her lips and really listen. So she was disappointed and embarrassed and sad you did that. I'm so sorry. Please tell Carissa I am sorry. I actually cannot read lips. So that is not a skill I've ever mastered. So I was trying extremely hard to listen. I just could not understand. So again, I am so, so sorry. But I love Carissa and I hope she understands that I was doing my best. Thank you so much, Angel, for letting us know. Okay. All right. So I've got Rebecca here waiting. Do you have any last thoughts, Aggie?
I do not. Thank you so much for letting me on. This is so cool.
Awesome. Thanks, Aggie.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Rebecca.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
What are your thoughts?
My thoughts on cancel culture is it really depends on the situation. Like, like there are some things that are just like unforgivable. In my opinion. Like, I mean, like I think everyone deserves a second chance, but as soon as you're given a second chance and you still screw up, like for example, Josh Duggar, I really don't think that you should have a public platform where you can influence people if you're really not a good person, deep down inside. Like, and like, that's my whole thoughts on cancel culture is that if you're really not a good person, like, for example, like, I know we just talked about Micah Stafford, but like, if she like truly, as bad as everyone paints her out to be, she really shouldn't be a public figure and people shouldn't look up to her and want to be like her if she's doing bad things. And so, I mean, canceling her is, I don't know. That's just my opinion. But other things like being painted as a victim, like James Charles, for example, or, whatever, I don't think cancellations like that should happen. So I don't know.
Cancellations like over...
Like what the whole Jeffree Star issue with him.
Oh, like with Jeffree telling everyone that he was a predator?
Yeah. I don't think that's a cancelable offense.
I don't think as a whole we should be shopping around fake stories about each other and like, you know what I mean? And I think that does happen on YouTube. I think people do create narratives and they work really hard to paint people a certain type of way. I feel like I'm painted a way on some of these channels that is so opposite of who I am. And once that idea in the community takes hold or within those communities, you can't change their mind.
Yeah, exactly. And it's hard to really know if like what the how they're painted is true or if it's just people being facetious. If someone's really a good person but they're just painted as bad, that really would stink for them to be canceled. But if someone's really a bad person, then cancellations are
like Daddy 05. They should have been canceled.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like there are families that should be canceled, or there are creators that should be canceled. They do really egregious things. They commit serious crimes, but simply having an opinion that's differing than you or a personality that you don't like is not in my, if you are causing harm to others, intentionally,
Yeah.
but having a different opinion, I don't feel like is valid.
Yeah. Which makes this whole like culture of canceling everyone really just obnoxious, kind of, because it's not giving the chance of like canceling people to be like actually weeding out the bad people. You know, people aren't doing any further research.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes it's an overreaction, or sometimes I feel like it's a looking for something that isn't there.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
or looking.
sometimes you just don't know. Like, I see a lot of channels that accuse people of doing stuff with children that it turns out to be completely false.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a topic that gets people really like charged. But at the same time, to be falsely accused of something like that is a really big deal.
Yeah. And being falsely accused of anything is really, you know, not not beneficial at all to anyone.
No,
So,
not at all.
yeah, but I definitely think there are some instances, but that's basically my only opinion, is that it depends. It's very, very, very situational.
Yeah, agreed.
So, awesome.
There are some cancelable offenses, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Got it.
Definitely. And I think everyone deserves a second chance. And if they screw up on the second chance, then, you know?
Right, because of redemption, right? So,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and my other question is, just because someone has an opinion and they don't like something about you, do you have to change?
No.
No.
You are who you are. And if people, the viewers will speak by views. If they like who you are, if you keep doing your thing, then the viewers will continue. But if, you know, I feel like canceling should just be by not like going out of your way to like get rid of them, but like people will notice if you're doing bad things, they'll just stop watching you, and then the numbers will go down, you know, if
Right.
it's, and so I feel like, yeah, I don't know. It's hard. I'm having a hard time explaining it, but yeah.
No, I understand what you're saying. Like, let the viewers decide and make their own decisions.
Yeah. I feel like this whole going after people and like painting people is really bad, and doing many, many videos about someone trying to deplatform them is just non-beneficial.
Are you talking about what the other person was talking about with Dad
Yeah.
Challenge?
Yeah.
So you don't agree with what he's doing either, is what you're saying?
No, because I feel like one or two videos, or even like a couple, explaining what the situation is or providing the facts in like kind of a non-judgmental either way, would sway the viewers enough. But just saying like, you know, they deserve to, like, telling people what needs to happen or telling people that they need to be canceled is not right.
My opinion about them is I didn't feel like there was anything more to say. Like,
Yeah.
there's nothing more to be said than what was said for that first month as we were sort of dissecting what had happened. And then after the police report came out and they found the child, and he was safe and he was with a family that loved him. To me, that was like, okay, he's okay. And what more can you do?
Yeah. And like, because I was honestly a huge Micah Stauffer fan. Like I watched her videos because I thought, you know, it was just amazing. You know, she homeschools her kids, and just the way she painted herself was so amazing. And then I found out all this stuff, and I felt betrayed, honestly, as like a viewer, that my views helped her channel grow and have helped her make money for her to do something like this. So I feel like just providing the facts would make people, you know, choose their own, like, cancel her without having to go out of your way to say like, yeah.
Right.
So,
like, she made the choice to deceive her audience.
yeah, exactly.
And sadly, that has kind of bit her in the behind.
Yeah, exactly. So,
which is why I think she could come back, but I don't think she would be well received.
yeah, especially on her like family channel.
Right.
But like, I know she has like some money making channel or something where like, I don't think that one, as long as she keeps her kids off of YouTube, and as long as she doesn't make the content about them and doesn't adopt any more children, and then throw them away, I don't think that she would have an issue. I don't think she would be as successful as she was previously.
Right.
But I don't think she would have it. I personally wouldn't have an issue because she's not exploiting any more children.
Right.
I had the issue with her exploiting children. You know.
I think we all did. I mean, I think that the whole aspect of when you start looking back at it from the lens of it failed to the point of you start looking back at her very first videos and the discussing things about him that were not her place to discuss before he was even legally her child.
Yeah. No, that's atrocious, because what about when the kid gets older? I mean, I don't know the like capacity that the child has, but I mean, the kid's going to get older and he's going to see that, and he goes to get a job and his whole medical history is just out there for everyone to see, and it's just kind of that's disgusting,
So Doc says the multiple videos did not bother her. It was just that the deplatforming in general should not be the thing.
Yeah.
And that's the part that I disagree with. I don't think we should be talking about deplatforming anyone.
Yeah. I don't think it's anyone's place to say whether or
unless
not
it's Alex
someone...
Jones. Like,
what?
unless it's Alex Jones, and he already was.
Wait, what was it? What
Alex Jones, like InfoWars.
Oh. No, I'm not aware.
That's a whole can of worms.
we won't open that one. I'll look it up on my own time. Yeah.
And the daily, weekly videos bug me. I'm like, next topic, huh?
Yeah. So
if there's nothing new in the story and she's not posting anything on social media, I think that's the part where it's like, if there's not court records, if there's not, something happening, are you adding value to the story by just yammering at it?
Yeah, exactly. It's like you're not. It's no longer a fluid situation. It's just sitting there. You're not growing you're not providing anything more to the viewers by just saying.
People will say, "Well, you make so many about the Duggars," and I'm like, "Dude, they're literally on social media every single day offering me things to talk about."
Exactly, and there's always something new. Like you're not just talking about the same issue over and over again.
No, and there are so many of them. Like,
yeah,
I could do a video about them every day and not repeat the same person twice a month.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, there's so many of them, and it's not the same topic. Obviously we spend a lot of time on Jill just because of everything that she's come out with, but that was a huge thing that happened, and
yeah. And Jill has provided a lot of information to talk about,
Correct. Yeah. And then, you've got Jessa is very active on social media, and so is Ginger. So they offer us so many things to talk about. And I feel like most of our discussions around them are never very mean. It's like, Jessa said this, or, Ginger said that, or, people don't like Jeremy.
Yeah. It's not like you're not beating a dead horse. You're just providing, here's some new information. It's like, yeah.
I love it when they do their clapbacks. That's like my favorite is when
me too.
like when they get sassy about something. I love it to see them stand up. I like my favorite video was when Anna Duggar basically was like, they asked her about the buddy system, and she was like, "No, I'm actually going to be a mother to my children."
I really I think Anna is such a
firecracker.
She's heaven sent, to be honest. She's just opens
How
up.
is she married to Josh? I don't know.
Yeah. She's so funny.
She's got such a good heart.
I know. I feel really bad that she's kind of trapped.
I do too.
Yeah. She's just kind of. It's sad. It's a sad situation seeing all those girls in there, because I feel like a lot of them don't have a voice, and I feel like Jill now found her voice, and that's why she has such a place in this channel. Like she's got a very big voice, and she's not against speaking out against her dad and everything that she's gone through as a kid. So.
And I think we should that's why I always say we should always applaud them when they make changes and not condemn them because their beliefs are still conservative. Did I love that she still had some undertones that were slightly homophobic? No, but I also know that change takes time.
Yeah. When you have your I don't know how old she is, but I mean, when you have that ingrained since you were a little kid.
29.
Okay, yeah. So for 29 years, your dad has ingrained that into your family in general is ingrained that, anyone who is LGBTQ plus is bad. It's hard
Right.
to just all of a sudden take a 180 and change.
Correct.
It's kind of like, we see her, some things are getting there and getting better, but and I'm sure within time she'll be like, oh, maybe it doesn't really matter what someone's preferences are. Like,
Right.
So.
And I always come with the opinion of, you're never going to change someone's heart by yelling and screaming at them.
Yeah, they have to figure it out on their own.
And if you are like, I hate you because you feel like this, how is that any better?
Yeah, no, you're being just as judgmental of them being judgmental.
Right. Like, I'm judging you being judgmental back.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I don't love that you feel this way, but I also don't think that they hate people that are gay. I just don't. I don't believe they actually hate it. I think they don't understand the ignorance of what it is that they say.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of them are just unsure because in their tight-knit society or in their tight-knit group, there's not a lot of it represented. Yeah. So I feel like a lot of people are just like, this is different from what I'm used to. Like, I'm taught as a young girl to go and marry a guy and then have kids and yada, yada, yada. But now someone's like, oh my gosh, you can marry another girl? Oh my gosh. Or,
right.
It's crazy. Like, I feel like they just don't know. They're like,
they don't get it.
Scared of it.
Correct. Kind of. Correct. And I also think too, like Amanda Householder, I had her on the channel. She grew up in that world. And I remember her saying to me, like, I never knew someone who was gay until I left my family. And then I realized they weren't terrible people.
Yeah.
And
I think you should do more on that whole group of like, breaking free of like these horrible, more of like Amanda Householder and, if you can find other people like that.
I should get her on the channel again.
Yeah, I really did like her content or like the content that she brought with her to the channel. It was super interesting. And I had no idea like a lot of that stuff that she would talk about. And it was super, super interesting.
Yeah. Hearing from her the abusiveness of the that whole the training up the child and really what that is like when you live in a household like with that, and just hearing the impacts of it is like, it's hard to hear, but it's like I think it's important that people hear those stories so that when you hear, Michelle talking about correcting a child, you understand what that experience is like to the child.
Yeah. And I think that's like a huge thing of cancel culture, going back to that, like, they seeing all these huge Christian role models when it doesn't really stand for what Christianity stands for, but
right.
They're role models in that, like, you can see what they're actually doing and how bad it is, and then, cancel them to get back to, Right. I think they're the people who should be canceled, the people who do these egregious things over and over again. I think
training up the child and any sort of blanket training and any sort of correctives with any sort of objects should be canceled.
Oh, for sure. And any sort of violence or SA should not be.
And that's one aspect I will never be down with the Duggar.
No.
Ever. I'll never be okay with that. And if any of the kids are doing that, I won't be okay with it.
Yeah, which is why I think no, I'm not even going to say that because that's very accusatory. And
I'm still on the fence. I don't know if Joy and Austin do, because I know that Austin's family really does, and they still host Debbie and Michael Pearl at their camp in Arkansas. And I'm not sure if they don't. So I am always really like, I don't believe Jill does. I don't know if Jessa does. I hope that none of them are doing this. Jessa has said she does not. So
I really hope Joy isn't, because, following her channel and a lot of her content, she seems to be kind of stepping away, like a little bit, but not as much as like Jill. I feel like she's trying.
Right. But she and Austin, Austin is still very like, I think Austin and her want to do their own thing, but I also think that Austin in his own right is also incredibly sort of like, because his parents are still in that mindset. So I think they're not completely going to detach from it, but I do think they want probably freedom away from the show, which is a good thing.
Yeah, I agree. And she's also really young too. So
She
a lot
is
of
very young.
like 22 or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So she's still got a lot of learning and growing up to do as well.
They need to make it illegal in Arkansas is what they need to do.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we got Kiki that's ready to go. So thank
Yay.
you, Rebecca.
Thanks for having me.
I love when you come on. I love it.
I always try to. I've been on vacation for the last little bit, but
We
yeah.
missed you. Welcome
Yeah.
back.
Oh, well, thank you. All
right.
See you later. Bye.
Bye, honey. All right, Kiki.
Oh my gosh. Hello.
Hi,
Hi, Katie. We finally meet face to face. How are
Me
you?
too. I'm good. Oh, I love your accent. I had no idea.
Yeah, I'm from New York. So
Love it.
Yeah. I was just going to jump in the shower and I said, let me come in and say hello. So I decided. Wow. I could not. Well, my gosh. Okay. Whatever. So let me think. So yeah, that Daddy 05 is what's it called? That family. What's it called?
Yes. Daddy 05.
That was terrible. That was abuse right in front of everyone's eyes.
Right.
And I don't understand how they lasted as long as they did. They're off, right? They're off now? Or?
Right. Yes.
Yeah, that was terrible. As for cancel culture, I think unless you are harming someone as that family, I think it's silly. I think we have freedom of speech. Anyone can watch whoever they want, follow whoever they want. It's all free. And I just think it's crazy. I think it's out of hand. And it's like Trisha Paytas. I love her because she owns it. She's, and she says it all the time. Only, no one can cancel her except, I guess, if you lose all subs. But all in all, yeah, I'm over it. The whole cancel culture thing.
She says no one can cancel me but me.
Exactly. And I agree. And I just find, I know I'm not going to bring anything in personal, anything like that. I just want to clear something up. I also find that I just find people on YouTube just need to find topics. Like for instance, when someone said to you, I'm not going to mention, said to you, you do lives, 30 something lives or whatever. You know how many YouTubers do reality shows on Real Housewives? And you do exactly what they're doing. It's like, what are you doing wrong? And it's frustrating. And I give you a lot of credit, and you have thick skin, girl, because I watch you and I literally am like, I just don't know how you do it.
Most of the time I ignore it, honestly. I was actually just watching a little bit of a video by someone who's gotten some flack for Shellen Lester or something like that. I don't watch her in particular, but I know that she's gotten some like recent sort of backlash. And she was talking about just sort of the issues of being on YouTube and the entitlement of sort of fans saying that just because they have an opinion, you have to change who you are. Right. And that actually really resonated with me because, right. And she also made the same sort of, she talked about how, I'm in my comments and I'm interacting with my fans and I'm, talking to them. And so, they have this expectation that they can tell me what they want. And if I don't do it, there's this weird sort of response of, well, you've somehow harmed me. And so now I'm against you and I'm going to launch a whole thing against you. When she said that, I was like, that's so fascinating because I've gone through that.
Yeah. There was a woman that came on last night and she said exactly, I think she was right on, is that like, I couldn't do this because I'm very empathetic. I feel people, I want to please and I want to have a connection. And unfortunately, I'm not saying for you not to have connection with you. What you're doing this, first of all, because girl, you got balls to do this. I could not, especially what you're going through and stuff like that, with everything going on with the hate and the people. I every time someone comes on, I'm like, oh, please be nice, be nice, be nice. Like I'm sitting back here going, please. So bravo to you, because that's brave. That's really brave. And but
well,
yeah,
I feel like if I show people who I am and I'm interacting with people, I think that's a better way to show who you are, right? Like, it's not like I have an agenda with this, but even if someone doesn't agree with me, I will be kind with them. But if they come on to argue, I'm not going to do that.
Right, exactly. And the thing is in life, you know, there's a lot of hate because of what's going on in our country and the virus, all that. But in life in general, no one is going to agree. We're all going to have our own opinions. And that makes life better because I like to hear other people's opinions. It makes me think, oh, you know what? Good point. You know, maybe I'll think about it. I like hearing other people's opinions. Do I agree with all of them? No. Will I stand my ground? Yes. But I do like to hear it. That's just me. But I just find like, I don't know, like I just think that there's just so much BS going on. And it's just like, it anchors me because it's like, it's okay for certain people to do their thing, but not you. And I'm starting to see the light. And I really, truly believe, and I'm saying this sincerely, and I know you and I had our things. I expressed how I felt about everything like that. And you know, but I do feel like you're a good person, Katie. And you're a great mother. You know, you have a son. I have a disabled son. Nothing compared to you at all. I'm not going to compare notes. But yeah, and you and your husband are doing a great job. And, you know, like when your kid's screaming, I had my grandkids here yesterday. They're screaming because they want my attention. People might think they're being killed, you know, and my dogs are going crazy. And I think like, oh my gosh, I could never do YouTube. People probably think I'm the worst ever, you know, and it's just, yeah, I just give you a lot of credit. And you doing this and connecting with us, I think is just a wonderful thing.
I love this is what we did in the beginning on this channel. Yeah. And as the channel grew and more trolls happened, it became harder to do this kind of stuff because we would do call-ins. Yeah. But now with StreamYard and being able to add people to the panel and knowing that you're going to hear my voice and I'm going to see who you are and I can disconnect you if I want to, there's this level of people are not as nasty, I've noticed.
Yeah. And the other thing is too, with people saying like, oh, you're on private or you shut this off, shut that off. Personally, when I'm in your other chat and you do put it on public, I want to leave because I'm all for having different opinions and stuff, but that's not what they're there for. And it's got to stop. Like, I don't get, like, if they don't like you, people don't like me, not everyone's going to like you, just go away. Like, go away. Don't watch me.
And someone, I had a comment on my channel community tab today, and it said like, I can't stand that all of your channels are on members only. Well, but I have real questions for you that I want answers for. And I said, I don't have to respond or answer anything.
You don't. And
you know, and I think there's a sense of like entitlement that people want to continue to address their issues with me. And I've already said, we're done with this. Like,
but if you want to address what? If they're going to address the thing you're going through, that's your business at this point. Like, I expressed myself and then you explained yourself and I was over it. But does that make me judge you as a whole person? If that's the case, I'm 51 years old. If that's the case, please don't judge me because I don't want to talk about my past. I've done things and, you know, we're humans. It's growth. It's part of life. And I
can't talk about it. So it's like, you yelling at me about what other YouTubers are saying that might be completely inaccurate doesn't constitute me having to answer what you believe you've heard about me.
Right. And the other thing is too, it's like, it took me a while to just dissect everything and I get it. And it's like, you know, I would always say to you, I'm not a troll. I'm just this. And I just want to know why. But I see why you're so defensive because you are getting attacked a lot. And I keep asking myself, because I joke around in there. I don't know if you've seen it. I had for the longest time a love-hate relationship with you. And I'm still here. So there's got to be more love, right? But the thing is, it's like, I just, now the more I'm watching all these, I'm thinking to myself, like, what is happening here? Like, it's type of bullying to me. It's kind of like, it's sad. It's sad. Not on your end, but these people. Like, it just, I don't know. It blows my mind. Like, and watching you do this, I've been watching you pretty much for a long time. I just never chatted. And I always enjoyed it. And then it's just like, but I understand, like, the thing, like, this is the thing that I don't understand. If these people are just there for hate, they're not going to be open-minded anyway. But
no, you'll never convince your haters. So you shouldn't even try.
No, that's why I don't know if you read all my tweets, but that's why I was saying to you, or in the other, I was saying to you, appreciate us. We're here for you. We like you. We enjoy you.
Yeah, for sure.
Forget them. And as for you having to keep everything off right now, I would. Like I said, bravo to this. Like, oh my gosh. Like, I'm watching you going, please. But it's like, good for you. Stand up and be you. And we all should be, you know, be who we are.
Yeah, I'm not going to stop being who I am. And that's sort of my thing about cancel culture. You cannot cancel someone's personality. You cannot cancel somebody's being.
And
If
you shouldn't be, and you shouldn't be anyone but
and you can't tell someone you can't be who you are.
No, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
And so I'm not going to apologize that, you know, I can be a very, my belief on anything is that you don't earn like, I don't have to respect you just because you're a person. Like, you earn the respect. And if you aren't coming at me hostilely, and you are obviously trolling, and trolls never tell you that they're trolls. They'll never tell you they're a troll. And you know trolling behavior, or you know the people that are there for the drama. And I don't have to entertain it, and I don't have to answer your questions, and I don't have to be kind to you because you're not.
Well, no, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but it all makes sense. Like, to me now, it's all fitting this puzzle. Like, I would question, like, why is she doing that? Why is she that? But as I'm watching you, and then I watch it, and I go, I would do this. I wouldn't, these people, because I'm in the room and I'm enjoying myself. And all of a sudden you say, you know, I'm going to open up for a question. And instead of them talking about, you have all these people that come in that truly dislike you. I just don't get, like, who has the time. Maybe it's because of the time of life we're all living in now. I don't know. But it's like, I personally, I like to be happy. And I just don't understand, like, why you would want to waste your time hating. To me, it's, if you don't like me, then it's like life, right? It's like, if you have a group of friends and I don't like you and you, then I'm not going to hang out with you and you. And it's just, that's what YouTube should be. Like, you don't have to watch me, but, you know, I just don't get it. But I just want you to know that it's been a roller coaster with you and I, and, you know, and I've been honest, and I really respect the way you tweeted me back and everything. And you've been nothing but kind. And I'm here. I'm still here, and I really do feel like you're a good person. You are a good person, Katie. I really do. Otherwise,
I won't be rude to people, and I think there's a misconception that I don't like I only want to hear echo chambers. Right. But I think if you're in my chat and you are in my comments, you will see that people have very different opinions about me, right, and have very different opinions about the topics I cover. And I don't expect everyone to agree with me, and I don't want an echo chamber. But I expect there to be civility in the chat, so that people are not fighting, and it creates a very unhealthy environment for chatters. Right. If people are coming in just to cause
the whole chat room,
and most creators keep it to members only once they get larger. I mean, like I've said repeatedly, I'm a member of H3 Podcast, and none of their live streams are ever open. It's always members.
No, it is. You're right. And he has tons, and he doesn't even read his. And that's the thing with you. Again, I'm repeating myself, but that's my ADHD. The thing is also with you is I really feel, again, it took me a while, and I finally started seeing and dissecting. I think that you want to have a relationship, answer your DMs and have that. And I'm not saying you shouldn't. You should, but especially now, and I'm, you know.
No, the bigger I get, I just don't really do that.
That's what I was going to say. I'm not saying nobody, never, ever. But at this point, like, I'm giving you advice, like, even me, like, I just think right now, your boundaries should be up. Your shield should be up right now.
Oh, it is.
You should just kind of just do your thing, be you, be happy, enjoy your husband, your son. And I would really just keep people right now be nice, everybody, of course, but just, I would not bring anyone into your circle. I just wouldn't, because I wouldn't trust anybody.
I don't have a circle. I really don't. Like,
I'm just saying I wouldn't trust anybody, because I see people coming in and they're really nice, and then all of a sudden the next day
they'll flip.
Like, great. And I'm just like, what are they mad
at? It happens in DMs all the time, so I don't even really respond to stuff anymore.
The thing is, I don't like the Duggars. I don't even watch the show. I don't even know who's who. But I enjoy listening to you, and you know, and I don't know. It's just like, I just wish everyone could get along. That's not going to happen. That's not life, right? Obviously. But I just feel, I just wanted to come in here and just be like, peace. And I wanted you to see me. I wanted to let you know that I do think you're a good person. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. And I just wish you the best. And I just hope everyone eventually finds, one more thing I find funny is that, I'm not going to mention anybody, but there's YouTubers that literally talk about you and your behavior, and yet they do the same thing. Like, they talk about you blocking, they're blocking. They talk about criticism, they don't want to hear it. They talk about, and I sit there and go, oh my gosh, like, I just don't understand it. Like, I feel like I'm losing my mind. I feel like,
every creator blocks, and every creator, you know,
Right, but then if I was a YouTuber, I wouldn't say, well, Katie block Katie, and then
I block all the time. I don't care. I'll block them.
Owning it, but you own it. Girl,
I do. I'll block everyone.
Own it.
Today I blocked like 500 people on Twitter.
That's what you need to do. You need to own it. Like, just own it. Like,
I don't ever deny that I block people. I block people all the time, and I have no problem with it because you know what? I don't need to listen to you harassing me. Like,
yeah, I don't know how you do. Like, I see you, I watch you, and I see you trying to answer everybody, and I'm like, I'm losing it for you. Like, I'm losing.
I know. Girl,
like, woman.
Yeah, I created the problem in my own right by being so open with people, and which is where I have to set boundaries now. So you are correct.
And a lot of new YouTubers are making that mistake, and I see it happening right in front of my eyes. I also see a lot of YouTubers starting a new channel, and they're using you, which makes me sick. That'd be like me starting YouTube and just putting you up there all the time. Like, that's just like, get a life. I don't know, whatever. But I want to tell a funny story, but it might not be as funny it's funny when it was there, but I heard Scarlett's story. My husband has a cousin. I'll call him Tom. I'm afraid to admit. And they're all the same age. They grew up in Brooklyn. They were all the same age, and they would play, and they play sports. And Tom never really liked sports so much. So as life went on, he's a doctor. He became very successful, ever. And I hope I use the right terminology. If I don't, everyone excuse me. I apologize. But he was changing into a woman, little by little.
Transitioning.
Correct. Thank you. And keeping it a secret. And then years later, Michael told me about him. He came out gay first, so we all knew that, but no one knew about the gender change. So we went to a funeral, and you have to understand, my husband's 9 years older than me. So his parents and uncles are 80, 90 years old, right? His mother and father supported him 100%. So when she came to the funeral, she was in the middle. So she was looking good, but she looks beautiful now. But it takes time. So she gets there, and her father tells my husband, my father-in-law, his brother, they're sitting in the front, all the old 80 and 90-year-old siblings, and she comes in and says hello to everyone. Everyone's looking, and her father says to his brother, my husband's father, says,
you could be her best friend.
He said, he tells them all at once, very loud too. Everyone can hear. It was so funny. He goes, yeah, she's going through a change. She's going through the change. And it was just so cute and so funny because they supported her. They didn't know how to explain it to the other sibling, to their older siblings, 80, 90-year-old siblings. And it was just so funny. You had to be there, but it was so funny. And it was just so beautiful to see that she was so accepted, especially by the older generation, because you don't have to understand it, but everyone, live your life. No one pays our bills. Live your life. We're all going to be here once. Live your fullest life. Be happy.
Be authentic. Be
authentic. Be kind. And and that's just it. And I just think you're a beautiful person, Katie, and I'm really glad. Yeah. And now I'm glad I don't do YouTube because I would probably get canceled for touching my hair all the time. I don't know how you do it. And you see,
you're fun. You're fine. I got Sherry ready to go.
Okay, go with Sherry. You see yourself as you're doing this. I could not do this. I'd be sitting here like this the whole time.
Yeah. Well, and I just naturally play with my hair. That's just like something I naturally do. So
how do you not look at yourself and not fit yourself? All right. God bless you. I'm glad we did this. Have a good night. And I'll continue watching.
Thanks.
Thank you, Katie.
Okay. All right. Sherry.
Hi.
Hello. How are you?
I am good. Do you remember me? We talked one of the last times that you did this, but my hair was in a ponytail.
Yes.
So I might have looked.
Yes.
Yeah. I showed you my chocolate lab.
Yes. You were outside.
Yeah, probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. So hi. I just wanted to say about cancel culture that, for one, I think it's just kind of this trend we're all on right now. And I think a lot of it has to do with the state of the world and that, everybody's just looking for something. And I wanted to make a real world comparison because, like, my mother, for example, boycotts Chick-fil-A. She doesn't eat at Chick-fil-A because she doesn't agree with the owner's his beliefs and things that he said. And so she boycotts Chick-fil-A. And even though, like, I feel like she's in her complete right, to not give her money to a corporation that she doesn't believe in. But when I look back at it, I'm like, I don't see that you boycotting Chick-fil-A is making any difference, whatsoever. So it just shows that just, the only difference is that, there's not like a platform for my mom to be on to talk bad about Chick-fil-A or,
Yeah.
There's
a
so
lot of
it's,
people that just don't eat at Chick-fil-A for that reason. And I think that's people can make those choices based on their I used to not shop at Walmart because I didn't like certain practices that they had, but now I live in the middle of nowhere where Walmart is like one of our only stores. And so we shop at Walmart. You know what I mean? Does that mean I co-sign all of what they do? No.
Right, exactly. And that's what I was going to say. Whenever I really think about that kind of thing, and I think about, again, I have no problem with her boycotting the restaurant, but I also think if we really knew the values of every, person that owned every store that we ever shop at, we wouldn't be able to shop anywhere. We would have to get a loom and start making our own clothes.
It's like makeup, for instance, like the shimmery stuff that's in here.
The mica.
The mica. We wouldn't buy it if we really thought about it.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And so I guess my point is that, why are we going after and deciding that these people who are somehow attainable to us?
Kirsten says she doesn't eat at Chick-fil-A because it sucks.
No. Yeah. Well, I don't eat.
I've never eaten there. We have one it's about 20 minutes from us. And I've just never thought to eat there. I'm not much of a fast food eater. So it's just never been I wouldn't go there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not I'm actively not going there.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. But it seems like, if it makes me wonder if we were standing face to face with the owner of Chick-fil-A or the owner of Walmart, would we tell them, I hate you and I don't eat at your restaurant or I don't shop at your store because of, of this and this? No, we probably wouldn't.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody would, some people would. So I don't understand why we're, emailing, YouTubers or, these, real people and telling them you don't belong here anymore. We're kicking you out. It's not.
I got a message today that was so bad. I haven't shared this on this channel, but this is sort of an example of some of the vileness that I get. And this is really, I'm not going to read the whole part of it, but the person was so angry at me that they said that I'm a vile piece of trailer park trash and I'm getting everything that I deserve. And they said, Toodles, you sociopath. I hope your poor genetic material gets placed in a new home. That's what they referred to as my son. And then they said, no bastard child deserves a deadbeat mother like that. And I got that message. Thank you, Kiki, I think you just upgraded. Thank you, honey. I really enjoyed speaking to Kiki. She was fantastic. So I got that message and I thought, who are you that you literally just got up this morning and that's what you typed out?
Yeah.
You referred to a child who has zero to do with anything as a poor genetic material.
Right.
What motivates people? And then if you don't respond exactly how someone wants, this happens to me a lot in DMs. If I say something, people are like, you are who they said you are. I hate you. And it's I just asked you a question.
Yeah. Well, and what confuses me is, we've got these family YouTubers. And I honestly, for the longest time, didn't really think about how bad these family YouTubers were. I've just recently really sort of really paid attention and understand. Not that I watched a lot of them. I just knew they were there, and I never really had a big issue until recently, when it's been more kind of pointed out to me, just how bad some of these things are that they're doing. But there are these family YouTubers and YouTubers with millions of followers, and I don't know if they're not getting the same type of criticism, or if the criticism is so buried because their platform is so large.
Yeah, I don't
But
understand why people are targeting some of these smaller creators. It really makes
right,
no
that's what
sense
it
to me.
seems. It seems like people are going after more accessible people that you can actually get to.
Yeah, and
I think your platform is large enough that enough people are seeing you to draw in criticism, but still small enough to where it doesn't get filtered out yet.
right.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, like I don't
think you're like
agree
in
at
that
all,
middle.
with this tirade people have going on against Brittany and Baby. I just think it's so unnecessary. And do I agree with everything that they do? No, but I also don't agree with bullying. And
Yeah.
I don't agree that just because you don't like the choices she's made as a parent, that it's your right to tell her that she's a horrible person.
Right.
There's a sense of almost entitlement, I think, that happens, and then she feels, or there are things that these family channels do that I don't agree with. But again, until there's laws, that's what it comes down to. We don't have laws. We don't have laws to protect these children. We don't have any sort of regulations to ensure their safety, to make sure that they have payments, to make sure that they're getting properly educated, to make sure that, it's until there's laws.
Yeah.
And
I think there's a huge difference between, making a video stating maybe why you have, I don't like what's going on with this. And you're speaking like logically and saying, logically, these are things that I'm seeing about this, channel, or that I don't care for. Like, that's one thing. And it's a completely another thing to, email things like you got emailed, the horrible things that were said in that. Like, those two things are completely, different. And, so I think it's one thing to say, I won't eat here because of this, I won't shop here because of that. I'm not going to watch you because of this. But it's a complete another thing to just degrade. And, so I think that's kind of where cancel culture, that's the problem. Like, if you just want, it's like cancel culture, that it's almost like the definition of cancel culture is bullying somebody out of submission.
Right. And
instead of
correct.
Yeah.
And it puts
instead
the
of
person that's on the receiving end of that in an impossible situation where the mob is saying you are this person, regardless if it's true or not, that if they don't bend to it and submit, they are playing the victim. But what if the mob is wrong?
Yeah.
What if the outrage is fake? What if it's overblown? There's a lot of times canceling happens and I'm like, this is so stupid.
Yeah.
Like, I remember when Charlie D'Amelio got canceled for being rude at that at the dinner table. And I was like,
right. Yeah. 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 And there's been a lot of times when, we've thought for sure, oh, this person's done. Like, there's no coming back from that. And then they have, so I think that a lot of it also comes down to, and I know this is said before, I know other people have said this, but I think it comes down to the person who's being canceled, their resilience.
Oh, yeah.
It. And
it's whether or not you can get through it and just move through it and move on and not let it bring you down. I mean, it's not easy. I would say it's getting a lot better than these last few weeks for me.
Mm-hmm.
November was really hard, really, really hard, very hard for me. But now I feel like on this end of it, I feel like it's sort of the tables are starting to shift And people are starting to realize that what's happening is actually getting obsessive, and it's getting to a point where people are starting to get annoyed almost with, hold on a second, I gotta, starting to get annoyed with what it is that's happening. And they say, well, you guys, it's over. You're literally getting ticky tack now. You're looking for things to get mad at her about. You're creating stuff, you're starting that reaching aspect of it.
Right.
So,
yes.
And I understand there's an interest in me because of things that are going on, but the only thing I can say is it's a lot more boring than it actually seems.
Right. Yeah.
And that's why I don't respond to anything, because it's really actually very boring. And there's nothing to say because a lot of what's out there is just not even what I'm dealing with.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess I just wanted to say that I feel like cancel culture, for the most part is just sort of the end thing right now. And it's just what,
I agree.
And I think that, at some point, like it always, everybody moves on at some point. And if you can just, not just you, but just anybody. And I guess the last thing that I want to say too is I think that we also need to be sure and know the difference between cancel culture or canceling somebody and ending truly unacceptable behavior.
Right.
And so I never followed him. I won't watch him. I'm not super familiar with, but I'm going to use Shane Dawson as the example because clearly from everything that I saw, he was doing unacceptable things.
Yeah.
And showing unacceptable behavior. And so it wasn't that he was canceled. His behavior was so unacceptable that he was not canceled. He was thrown off of the platform, which to me, canceling is the fans or the subscribers deciding, you're canceled. We're no longer going to watch you. That is different than you have broken the terms of service. You are breaking the law. You are using this platform incorrectly. So we are removing you.
Right.
From the platform. So I think it's important to know those two, that distinction,
Right.
The difference between just this cultural canceling, oh, we're just going to, cancel you because we can, to,
Right.
there's a difference between
horrible
that.
Things, obviously.
Yeah.
You're not okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So
well, wonderful. I've got Ashley waiting.
Okay.
I absolutely love every time you join. I love hearing your perspective, and you brought a very open and interesting dialogue. So thank you so much for sharing, Sherry.
Thank you. All right. Have a good night.
You too, sweetheart. All right. Oh, hold on. Sorry, Real Entertainment. I'm going to add you and Ashley at the same time.
Okay. Hi.
Hi, honey. Hello, Real. Is this Kareem?
Yes, Real Entertainment News. How you doing?
Good. I am sorry. I actually went to your channel just to see who you were. Hello, and then hi, Ashley.
You know who I am already.
I do.
I just want to say that cancel culture sucks. And the few times that people have tried to cancel you have pissed me off.
Outside of me, though, what else about cancel culture?
I just think that it shouldn't exist because everybody should have the right to have their own opinions.
Okay. I agree. And Kareem, what do you have to add here?
As far as cancel culture, I believe it should be on an individual basis. Like, who are we to tell people that they can't make a living?
Right.
With the whole cancel culture thing. Like, who are we to tell people that, for instance, a musician, they do something wrong, they need to be taken off of Spotify? No, that's not right. How are you going to, that man make his living that way?
Right.
So you're saying that he should not make his living because of something that may have happened that may not even have anything to do with his profession.
Right.
You know?
Yes.
I think people, if I can put it bluntly, are just wussies nowadays, and they just need to get more strength like people were back in the days. People are too sensitive. Too sensitive.
There does
If you
seem
don't
to be
like-
this like content policing for sure.
Say that again? 'Cause you
Like
broke up.
content policing. Like
Too much content, please.
yeah, like you said this word and I don't like that word, or
So you should- yeah.
you were not sensitive to this person and I didn't like that. Obviously, like racism and hate speech to me is unacceptable.
That's a different story, yeah.
But that's a different story.
I feel like here's the thing. Here's what I feel. I feel like there's a place for everybody.
Right.
And that place has to be good or bad, right?
Yeah.
But there's a place for good people. There's a place for bad people. And the whole cancel culture concept just seems like there's a bunch of butthurt people that just can't deal with constructive criticism or criticism totally. You know, like, who are you to tell me I can't do my profession because you don't like what I said? F you personally, right?
Right.
You know, and as far as content policing, if a person don't like your content, don't watch the channel.
Right, exactly.
It's simple. It's not rocket science. Just don't watch the channel.
There's so many channels to watch on YouTube. So like I always feel like in terms of like when I cover anything, I'm never like, don't subscribe or unsubscribe to them. You have to now, you know. I'm always like, don't do it based on me. Like I don't want anyone to make that decision based on me.
You've always said, like, don't be mean to them, don't go after these people.
Yes.
She always says that when she talks about people.
We shouldn't be mean to people.
I don't think we should be mean to people, but I think sometimes when you need to get your point across, sometimes that point that you need to get across may not need to be said in a kind way, if that's the best word to use, because sometimes people they don't hear kindness when you're kindly doing something, when you're kindly telling them stop. If you think about like a kid, if you tell them stop nice, they may keep on doing it. But if you yell at them, then they're startled. Now they're listening. Sometimes you have to, I don't want to use the word assertive, but sometimes you have to be assertive in your message. And sometimes that might not come across as pretty, but that's just life.
Yeah.
You know, am I making any sense here?
No, yeah. I think having boundaries and being assertive is definitely not a bad thing.
Yeah, the reason how I came across your channel, Katie, is because I'm really cool with AT2, and he did a live on you last night.
Yeah, I actually talked to him in my chat on my other channel or on Facebook today.
And now I kept asking him, like, is this lady okay? Because the clip that he was shown, like, I thought you were scared. Like, I didn't know what was going on. And I was thinking, like, well, I'm pretty sure this dude ain't in the same city as this lady. Like, why does she look like that? Like, and I kept asking him that, and he was like, I guess you got to go ask her.
that situation was very
it was tense for you.
It was tense because I'm not on my channel to argue with people, and I'm also not a confrontational person, and so I don't want to ever be in a conversation with someone where people are just, you know, going back and forth. And there wasn't a dialogue that was very healthy there. And I had my husband that was very heated, and then he was heated, and there was this layering of you did this and this and this, and then the accusations are flying, and it just didn't feel productive to me. And I did not feel like it was going to go in a direction that was productive. And I'm not one to have an unproductive, just yelling conversation.
It's better to ignore things like that, Tom.
Yeah.
So I guess I have a question, and that question is, us as YouTube content creators, how can we successfully iron out issues move past the issues and be able to work together so we all can be successful in our craft and not have so much hate going on. And that hate will get rid of the cancel culture. Well, at least within this sector.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, my belief is that everyone has a place, and I value everyone's place. I also believe that if you truly want to squash a situation with someone, coming with ammunition is never a place of production. You know, because when you start trying to talk about I have receipts and this and that, like, sure, it feels good in the moment, but at the same time, it doesn't really resolve anything. In my opinion, when I've had issues, conversations behind the scenes always seem to be better than, confrontations online. And I do think that a lot of times the baiting that happens in situations like that it's to create content, right? It's to create an environment where, look, I went onto her channel and it was really combative, and look what happened. And, and that's what I was trying to avoid. I didn't want that to happen. And I'm the kind of person that doesn't want to have that kind of dialogue either. So I've in that situation have repeatedly reached out to him privately, and he refused, and he always refuses. And so to me, that feels disingenuous. And so I'm not here to make a spectacle of it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm always open behind the scenes to speak to someone. And I actually spoke to AT today, and he was really kind, and I wouldn't say it bad at all. Like, and I explained to him, like, it wasn't an interview. I didn't invite him onto my channel. It was like a panel like this.
Yeah. I like AT. He's a really, really cool dude. He helps me out a lot. But I just feel like that so many people, because our viewership, it doesn't cost us anything to have our viewership. It doesn't cost us anything for our viewers to watch our videos or anybody else's videos.
Right.
So the togetherness can really put a lot of money in people's pockets, and therefore put a lot of money back into the community. But I kind of feel like, and you can tell me if I'm right or wrong, I kind of feel like everybody's like, well, it's all about me. How can I get mine first?
I feel like
maybe I'll help you get yours.
I'm actually of the opinion that we would do better together. I am the same. I agree with you. I have wanted to feel that way for a long time. I think that everyone, if they worked together, could elevate one another. I think, unfortunately, there are some people that want to do that, and then there's other people that, and this just happens in general in this world, because I came from the writing world and I was a blogger, and this happens in the blogging world as well, where there are some bloggers that just want to collaborate and work together, and then there's others that would rather build their platform by discrediting the people that are doing the same thing as them, so that they can reduce the credibility of their competitors to amplify themselves. And so, unfortunately, there's going to be that same sort of mentality here. And people always say to me, like, you're the only one that looks at these people as your competitors. And it's the truth. In truth, everyone's competing for viewers, right? But at the same time, viewers all have something. Every single creator has something that they offer to the viewer that's different. And so in one sense, we're competing, but the other sense, if you can reduce my credibility, that's still not going to change the fact that some people are coming here because they resonate with my personality, or, they like my delivery. So I feel like that's where I'm saying, I've always said, why are we policing each other in the commentary community? We don't need to.
Yeah. I guess you have a point that we shouldn't police each other. But I do think we do need to, check people when things are right or wrong. Like, nobody should be talking about people's kids at all.
Right.
Nobody should be talking about dead people at all. Those things are off limits. And I think sometimes the back and forth with a lot of different content creators, I think it's like verbal jousting for the most part.
It's a lot of it is for views, to be honest. A lot of it is to create drama, to get people to come in and to engage with me so I can create content.
Views and money is some of the only things that some of the channels care about. And it's disgusting, I think.
so they create fights, and it's fake outrage to get views and to create, oh, this person said this about me, oh, we got to talk about it, you know what I mean? So I don't like to do that kind of stuff. I would much rather just talk about the stuff I like to talk about. Like, this conversation tonight has gone so well. I feel like I've heard so many great points of view, and that's what I love. I love dialogue. And I even put a tweet out and I said, if you're a creator, come on and talk to me. So I'm glad that you are here.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I just wanted to kind of just, I never talked to you before. Again, a reason why I came across your channel is because of AT2. So I'm always looking to send the olive branch out and collaborate and build with people, because I'm fairly new. So a lot of times people try to send away from new YouTubers or whatever the case may be. But I'm always trying to better the platform and better the community, because with a strong community, everybody can make a boatload of money.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
people making a killing. We can get rich off this thing, but if we don't work together, we're just taking away from each other. And
Well,
we're taking
and and then the infighting implodes the community, and it makes viewers turned off from all of us, which is what I see now with a lot of my commenters. Are like, I'm so tired of my favorite creators fighting. I just want to watch my videos.
Yeah, like there's no, yeah, you're right about that. Like, it creates division as well. Like,
yeah.
You're almost forced to pick a side.
Right. Like, one of my subscribers was like, I don't like that you're not getting along with two people that I like watching. And I'm like, don't pick a side. Like, honestly, don't. Like, don't. I rarely comment on stuff when people make videos about me, because I find it to be counterintuitive and productive. But if it gets to a point where it boils up, yes, I'll address it. But then I want to move on.
Yeah, it makes sense. So let me ask you this: when creating content, from your perspective, when creating content, because I do celebrity gossip, I also do YouTube gossip, and I also do food reviews. Do you feel that doing content on other content creators is unprofessional? Because I've heard that as well.
I don't prefer to do content on other creators, to be honest. And I think most people that are on my channel know that most of my stuff is reality television or celebrity stuff off the platform, because I don't want to hurt somebody's pocket on here. And I also don't want to get into that delicateness of the targeted harassment that can happen with YouTube. And so I don't want to spend I don't want to build it off by trying to like get hate viewers either. I just don't I don't want hate viewers. I want viewers that want to talk about whatever. So do I talk about YouTube stuff? Yes, if it's relevant, or if it's something that's big enough, or if it's something that I'm interested in. A lot of time I don't, though.
Okay. That makes sense.
And there's so many people that do. So I feel like, why, you know what I mean? Like, and my audience for the most part isn't super interested in it. They are not here for that.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure you're pretty good at reading your analytics and seeing what gets your traffic. I guess it's all based on the analytics for the most part.
And my analytics follows kind of what I'm most passionate about. So I really like discussing fundamentalism and cults and child aspects in reality television. And I like to look at the fakery behind the scenes kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And sort of the impacts of that. And so I feel like when you are talking about the things that you're most passionate about, those are like what resonate the best with your audience too.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, that'll be all for me. I'm not going to hold you up too long. It was nice meeting you.
Yeah. Welcome.
And I'll definitely come and check your channel out.
Yeah, thanks.
Bye, Kitty. Take care. It's been nice.
Bye, Ashley, sweetheart. Thanks, guys.
No problem. Bye.
Bye. All right. That was awesome, actually. I really appreciated that point of view, and best of luck to Real Entertainment News. His channel does not have 1,000 subscribers yet, so feel free to check him out. I'm not endorsing him because I've never watched any of his videos, but if you liked the way that he spoke, go check out his channel. Yeah, I agree with this. It should not be a public confrontation. And that was really why I removed myself from that situation, or removed that creator from my channel. It was because it was going to become a confrontation, and I do not, as someone that has a platform, as well as this as being my business, want a confrontation on this channel that is not productive and volatile. And there's a lot of channels that want to do that kind of stuff, and that is not ever how I've managed this channel, and it's never how I'm going to manage this channel. I don't want this channel to be a place of fighting. When you force viewers to pick a side, there's a chance that they'll either pick the other side or just walk away entirely. Correct. That's been my sort of point of view with all of this, is that when we start to implode within our own community, we also are alienating viewers that may be tuning out from all of us as a result. And that's not what I want either. I love to help all creators, and I love to I'm not above anyone's channel size. Some of my, friends to this day have smaller channels, and I don't look at them as any less than me. Everyone's channel has the ability to grow, and everyone starts at 0, right? So it's all relative. Nobody's better than anyone just because they have a bigger audience. And I think when we start valuing ourselves based on the number of people that follow us, that becomes a problem. So you guys, this has been an awesome stream. I have been very awesome. This has been amazing. We've had, there was a super chat that I did not read, but I posted it up here about Trisha and that viewer's belief that she is anti-Semitic, and to which I say thank you for your opinion, and I thank you for the super chat. And then we have new members of Tisha, Mallory, Melissa, Zena, Janine, and Kiki. Oh, Addie. Oh, your volume.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi. Yes.
Hi.
Kiki knows me.
Oh.
I am not that great on camera. Please forgive
You're fine,
me.
honey. You're fine, honey.
I have been following you for a very long time. I cannot get my camera to do. Wait. Oh, there we go. Sorry. I have autism, so please excuse me.
If you have trouble making eye contact or even like looking at the screen, do not. Even though I have ADHD, I also struggle with like the eye contact with the camera. I get very uncomfortable. So no mind.
Yeah. I would have to put something on it to remind me to look over there.
Yeah.
I have been a longtime follower of yours, and I just wanted to introduce myself and let you know that I'm not this wackadoodle
no, thank you.
Who's like stalking you in PM or whatever. It's just me. I started following you when you just because of the Duggars.
The Duggars.
Yeah, I'm a former cult member. I've mentioned it before. I was a ex-JW. Now I do get flack from people who say, well, that's not a cult, but
no, it is.
To each their own.
My ex-boyfriend, my high school sweetheart was in the Jehovah's Witnesses, so it's a cult.
Which is why I was drawn to you and all that, because of the background with what you had said about that. That's when I went, I will latch on her now.
That was so awful. Oh, I still feel like so responsible for it.
Yeah, I have a whole past. It's a thing.
And it's a cult, you guys. It is a cult.
Third generation, yes. But anyway, as far as the subject that you have going on, I am absolutely 100% against cancel culture. I think that it is not our place to tell others what they should do or shouldn't do, or who they should or shouldn't follow. If I choose to stop following somebody because they are harming or going against somebody that I like, that's my choice to do. And like I said in my Twitter, clean up my account because I don't need that in my life. But that's my place to do it. And it's not my place to tell anyone else. And for what is going on with everything, as far as all the cancel stuff that's going on, I think it's basically because of what's going on in the world. Everybody's all up and everybody's freaking out. This has been a hard year. I've only been out of the house twice since September.
Yeah, I don't think I've left. I was just telling my husband, I said, I don't think I've left the house in like a month.
Yeah, and we're shut-ins. I've said that I have 2 sons who are also on the spectrum, and my youngest he's home being home taught because he can't be out with all the stuff going on and for years with that and his health, and he has morbidity issues and all that. And I think that what is going on is something that we need to come together as a community, not divide.
Yeah.
Now's not the time to be dividing. Now's the time to not cancel and do what, just that's
so many people are out of work right now. So many people are struggling. So many people are angry. And I think that's where a lot of this is coming from. And it's like, we should be supporting one another and not canceling.
Exactly. I agree with that. And
I agree with your assessment that people are stuck at home.
And yes, and then it's interesting lives. It's other people's lives and stuff that we're looking at too, and what's happening over here. Oh, let's go over there and let's see what they're doing. Now, it also, those of us that we have to be careful ourselves as the subscribers of those who are going through that, not to fuel the fire. And you can support, but you don't go make it worse for them. And that's where I stand on that. I just wanted to.
Yeah, I am for sure. I think I was saying this today, and I've been very vocal on my Twitter the last few days, calling people out because I want to set an example to creators that we should not tolerate people that fly from one of us to the other to cause drama.
Right. And
it doesn't help any of us.
And it's not our place to tell others to not be on a platform doing that. It's not our place. Like I said, not my place to tell you or anyone else, you shouldn't be doing what you're doing. You shouldn't be out defending yourself.
There should be nobody for any creator, because I'm not the only one that this happens to. This
exactly.
happens to all creators. And so, but nobody should have their sole accounts being dedicated to one person to harass, to harm, whether it's me, whether it's, Trisha Paytas, whether it's Ethan Klein, whether it's James Charles, whether it's, whoever. Everybody has trolls, but it doesn't help anyone.
Exactly. Yes. And it actually can, it can be more, it's like you mentioned the other day was a sock account. I had to go Google that.
Oh yeah, the fake account.
I was being so literal. I go, wait, then I got into something about sock puppets. I have no idea what I Googled.
Oh, of course you're literal. It's autism.
So I went down a whole path. Oh, sock puppets. Let's go there instead. So
it's just basically a fake account.
Right. I'm not a social media person. I'm trying to be. A little bit about my background is that Kiki knows me from what I do. My normal day job, I am a video producer for Law and Crime Network.
Oh, okay.
I get paid. I actually got autistic person can get hired.
Of course you can.
But I run their YouTube thing. I don't get paid for running for the channel itself. I'm an employee of theirs, and I run that channel. So I'm not at competition with you in any way.
Oh,
I'm just a big fan. But
I'm not. When I talk about competition, it's not that like we can't be friends. It's just like when you look at the grand scheme of things, when you're all covering the same topic,
Exactly.
there is competition, but it doesn't,
Right.
to me, I never even think about, I only compete with myself. Honestly,
Exactly.
my focus is always on like, what can I do better? How can I make this a better experience for you? What can I do better for my editing? I've been learning so much about editing. I think my last few videos have been pretty good.
Yeah, actually, that's what I do. I'm the video editor. If you go look at that channel, I started it in 2015 when we were a little tiny channel for another thing. A friend of mine started a channel together, and it was called Court Chatter. And when that channel got noticed by, we got noticed by Dan Abrams from Live PD.
Oh yeah.
And he purchased our YouTube channel, which is that channel, and that was mine. At the time, I had it up to, it wasn't that big, and then now, of course, it's taken off because it has his name behind it. But all of that.
Subscribers do you guys have?
What is it? Kiki, is it 345,000 or 345,000 now? So and it's because it's Dan Abrams. I mean,
yeah,
it's not me.
It doesn't help that he's an attorney.
Yeah, and
he's very intelligent, and he's not bad on the eyes.
Oh, so I've FaceTimed with him, but sadly, every time I giggle. I haven't been, he called me one time, and
I used to love when he was on. He used to do stuff on MSNBC. He was always like their legal analyst, and I loved him.
He is awesome. He is a very nice man, and Addie is my online name. I don't go by my, everyone knows it, but I'm in the credits on the thing because of the broadcast, that type of thing. But anyway, he's. The reason I'm mentioning all this is because I just want you to be comfortable with who I am, and if you see me in the chat and I'm spewing because I'm autistic and I just
honey, you're fine. You're fine. We have a huge autism community in this community. We have a huge chronic illness, like a lot of our followers here because of what I talk about, right? Like, so I have an autistic child, and then I have ADHD, and then we have chronic illness in this house. So we also have the LGBTQ plus. I represent all kinds of things here. And
me too on all, I'm just going to say this, me too on all fronts.
Oh, awesome.
So, but it's not something I've really said much of, and it'll probably be out now, and I'll probably get slammed for it, but whatever.
Who cares?
But, but yeah, so I, with that, we were talking about the editing part. I was watching your videos, and I'm seeing that your editing is getting much better. You said you're doing that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When I started that channel back in 2015, I had no idea what it meant. Then I began to actually work, and just years of doing it, and being able to work with a big company, they give me the software to use, the good stuff, the stuff that makes stuff look fancy. So all of that stuff and all the trial footage, if you go back and look at the stuff from the beginning, it's like, pretend you don't see that.
I know.
Yeah, and then you come and then you see your stuff now, and you're like, oh, okay, I got it. I'm good. I can do this.
Yeah, I'm getting better with jump cuts and changing of angles, and yeah.
So I just wanted to be on here so that you can see me, and if you see me in your chat, which you will, because I'm home. I work from home. They work in New York. The studio is in New York, but I'm remote.
Well, I am so glad that you're here.
So, yeah. I'm so happy I got to meet you. Yay!
I'm so happy to meet you. I know, I love it when people get on for the first time. I don't even think it was Rebecca. She got so excited when she first met me. She's like, "Oh my God, I'm talking to Katie!" I was like,
"Yeah." And every time you mention your ADHD, I watch when you're reading something and you're reading my stuff, you read it how I read my own or read other people's. Yeah, it's like I read just like that. You know how it is. You know what I mean. But anyway, I'll let you go and say bon de Dieu.
Thanks, Addie.
Good to meet you.
Good to meet you.
Bye.
Okay. Bye. Awesome. Law and Crime on YouTube. Addie does amazing work, even been a follower forever. Love that. True Boss Queen. Thank you so much for the super chat. I love Addie. She's always like so positive in our chats, and I love seeing other creators that are in the community that are part of the chat. So thank you guys for an awesome dialogue. Yes, Rebecca did fangirl a little bit, but we love Rebecca. And she loves Katie. Oh, I love all of you guys. So it's been awesome to hear from your points of view. I think everyone sort of seems to have very similar thoughts about all of this. And I think the more dialogues we do like this, I think it just creates a better space for everyone. So as always with all of these, you know, these Saturday nights have been such a good addition, and I'm loving all of your contributions. So each week we'll have a different topic like this, and I really enjoyed tonight's topic. So if there's a topic you guys want us to talk about, oh, Keon wants to talk, and I have to I honestly have got to use the restroom. All right, Keon, you've got. Hey, honey, I'm almost done. So you got a couple.
Yes.
Okay.
I just want to say, but there are many things about the cancel culture thing, and but there is something important that I want to say before, and that is, you saw it on Twitter. I think that it's important that people shouldn't say to a content creator what they should do with their channel, with the content they're putting, right? And I concluded today, or maybe yesterday, I think that I'm in no position to say to Katie what content she should do or should not do, right? Why these people that are criticizing you are doing this? Why they think they have control over your channel, right?
I think it happens to a lot of creators, to be honest. I think we just developed this sort of closeness, and I think that I have created a space where people feel like they can talk to me about things, and so I think that gives people a sense that they can tell me how to do things. And I think a lot of times I have tried to please people too much, but yeah, that's ending.
You know something? You shouldn't please anyone. You do your content. You do what you have been doing for a year.
I will say something. The last few days, I have been more myself than I have been in a long time, and my longtime subscribers are so happy. They're like, "You're back!"
Be yourself, Katie.
Yeah,
that's important. That's important.
That's like what I did on Twitter. I'm throwing stuff up there, and I'm like, "This is what you guys are doing. I don't care. It's not acceptable. It's harassment, and it's stalking, and goodbye."
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna, just because you don't like me and I triggered you, or
I think many of us have been paying attention to what the haters say, right? But we think that we should listen to them, to what they're saying. No, you're listening to many people that are not even right in their minds, but whatever. The thing is, you can listen to criticism from any kind. I think I say this on a video, but just be yourself. Listen to people, but don't listen to haters. The haters are only there for blood.
Yeah, they don't. Their criticism, they always say I used to be a fan and I only care about you. No, you don't.
No, they don't care. They just care for themselves. They're selfish.
Because even when I do what they want, even when I do what they want, they're still not satisfied.
Right. But the other thing is, we shouldn't be very harsh or harsh at all to the critics, to those people that are just voicing their opinion. But at the end, it's just an opinion, You have your opinion. Many people have their opinion. And
I will obviously hear valid criticism and that kind of stuff. But just because someone has criticism or an opinion doesn't mean that you have to change who you are.
Yeah,
and I think that's the distinction. And that was one of the aspects about cancel culture I was like wanting to talk about, was that just because someone has an opinion.
Yeah, actually, I was looking for the definition of cancel culture, and it comes to me that is also known as online shaming.
Yeah. You're shaming everything I do.
It's peer harassment.
Yeah. If you don't like what somebody does, that's one thing. But to try to just say, well, I don't like that you did this. And then the minute that you correct that, you try to look for something else. You're not actually actively trying to improve someone. At that point, you're just doing destructive drama.
And they are saying, without saying much, that you should get out of YouTube. You should get out of Twitter. Take a time for yourself. Blah blah blah. No. They're nobody to take that decision for you.
Right.
But I think that's all I have to say for now.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining.
Thank you, Katie.
We always enjoy your perspective, Keon.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, you guys, we are done with people. It's been 2.5 hours, and you guys, I need to use the ladies' room. So thank you guys for these longer streams. These are so much fun, and I am so enjoying them. So as always, be kind to people. Just because we have opinions does not mean that our opinions are, I feel like just because we have an opinion about someone doesn't mean that they have to change because we don't like them, or that just because we want to see an improvement doesn't mean it has to happen, or just because we want something doesn't mean we'll get it, right? We're not children, and we learned as children that just because you want something doesn't mean you're going to have it. So if you are someone that enjoys in bringing other people down and removing people from platforms, that's not what I'm into. But this dialogue tonight was awesome, hearing your guys' perspective. And, when we talk about creator on creator feuds, as from my perspective, never feel like you have to take a side. Never feel like you have to choose one creator over another. Always watch who you want to watch. Base your decisions on other creators, on your own experiences, and not on what anyone else tells you about them. And if you just want to like someone because you resonate with them, then like them. That's all that it comes down to. Don't feel like you have to pick somebody's side. And opinions are like butts. We all have one. Correct, Addie. Correct. All right, you guys. Thanks so much for joining me tonight. Bye.